All right, Lizzy, and welcome to the TDSM. Welcome back to the TDSM podcast today.
Hey, girl. So good to be with you. Thank you.
It's awesome. So today's a really exciting video because Lizzy is really the master of design, digital downloads, print on demand. Design especially is not something that I would claim that I'm not an authority of that space. So she is here with us today to do a workshop style video, really revealing some of the top fall Halloween trends that are coming up that we should already, right? You should be already launching these now to capitalize on our September, August, October months coming into this fall season. So, Lizzy, I'm going to let you take the floor and we're going to go, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it and talk about what are some of these top trends.
Okay. Thank you so much, Hannah. You guys, I love trends. I felt so intimidated by trends for so long, but I'm also really stubborn. That's also a Midwest trait. And I decided about a year and a half ago, I am done being overwhelmed by trends and I'm just going to learn it. Everything is figure outable. I'm going to figure this out. So since then, I've become like obsessed with trends. I study them constantly. I put out a weekly trend report. This is like my thing. So I want to show you the design trends that are really blowing up on Etsy right now. You can use them for the upcoming holidays. You can use them for evergreen niches. My guess is they're going to look a little familiar and we're just going to put a little definition around it. So I'm going to pull up some slides to show you what these are looking like. And then we'll see what Hannah wants to do. We can even go over to Etsy and talk through it a little more like I would in my weekly trend report. So let me share my screen. Okay, so just a little about me in case we are complete strangers. We will not be in a moment. I am Lizzy Smiley. I host the How to Sell Your Stuff on Etsy podcast. It's on Apple and Spotify and YouTube and all the places, and it is where I have made all of my best friends in the space. Hannah and I have become really good buddies. I'm obsessed with Profit Tree because I am obsessed with Shark Tank. I'm obsessed with Shark Tank and how they're like, you got to know your numbers. And so I'm like, Hannah helps me know my numbers. So we are buddies and I love her, what she puts out. I have experience in physical products. Handmade is where I got my start. Then I played in print on demand. And the last couple of years, I've been obsessed with digital products, especially because of what we can do with AI. And that has become my little thing. Like trends and AI is like my thing. And so we can design anything now with these different tools. I'm a trend expert known for my AI product workshops, and we're going to do trends today. So the first one should be no surprise to you. It is the Coquette trend. And if we were talking a year ago, I would say just put bows on everything. Like bow, but it's everything is just like the whole concept is bows. And this has been hot. It continues to grow. Typically now we don't just see a bow added, we're seeing it used in trend combining instances. So like you'll see here, you're seeing like this is a whole separate trend. This postage stamp style trend, you see a bow put in there. You see the 90s cherry trend, you see a bow added to it. So we're not so much just seeing like bows, we are seeing them trend combined. It's feminine, it's girly, and it's added in with other elements. Like, look, this one's kind of cute too. So it's like this is kind of like a watercolor cowboy hat, but put a bow on it and people will buy it even more. So Coquette remains huge and you want to continue putting little nods to the Coquette trend in whatever you're designing.
Awesome.
Number 2, all over the place, and I feel like it always gets stronger for fall, but this is a year-round thing, is boho vibes are so hot right now. We're seeing very muted color palettes. It makes my heart so happy. Or we're seeing monochromatic designs, lots of wildflowers, earthy elements. And so notice again, we're seeing this trend combined. So here we're seeing like a very fall-looking shirt. It's muted colors. It's daisies, which by the way pulls a little retro. The design is kind of graphic design style, again a bit retro, but make it fall and throw in some pumpkins. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that makes it very on trend is the Comfort Colors pepper mock-up right here. The choice to go with this design is absolutely perfection. Here, we're seeing actually 3 trends come together. We are seeing the Christian niche meet the cowgirl trend meets boho. And so this is kind of what I'm talking about, the trend combining. These things are colliding together and you have to give some thought to what really speaks to each other. This one is just a very simple wildflowers, monochromatic design boho vibes. This one you've probably seen. It's been a bestseller for ages. It's for the mental health niche, but make it boho. So we've got this kind of more muted color palette, these wildflowers, but it's all positivity. So it's like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to start over. It's kind of like a feel-good thing. And then finally, I thought this was perfect to show us how they've taken boho vibes to Halloween. But it's even better than that. So we're seeing the muted color palette and a bit of and a little bit of the wildflowers. But notice in here we also see Coquette. We also see Grandmillennial, which we're going to talk about in a minute, because the ghost sheet is very lacy, kind of like a doily, kind of like a fancy lacy doily, which is very Grandmillennial with those fabrics. So we're seeing boho infused in everything. It's extremely popular right now, and I think, Hannah, you like boho a lot too, don't you? It's like
Yes. Question, how important, because I see a lot of like amateur designs a lot of times, and a lot of times you said something, I mean, a lot of all this is very important, but I think a lot of times people do too much in terms of color. So I like how you worded it. You're saying it's muted colors. So the trend right now, well, what's really, really working is exactly that. It's the mutedness. It's the colors that, like, if you took out the colors in each one of these listings and you put the colors on a color palette, they all flow together and match. They're not like these bright, starky colors. That's like very natural feeling, I guess. I guess that's the words you describe, right? Would you agree with that?
I do think a lot of times we'll do shop audits and design audits in like my membership, and color choices are often a mistake that is made. If you want to play into the boho, I do recommend keeping it a little more muted. On occasion, you'll see one that's a bestseller that digresses, but it's the exception, not the rule. So yeah,
Mhm.
keeping them very close together. And honestly, when in doubt, go monochromatic. This is just on fire right now. I mean, there
Mhm.
are so many best-selling designs that are monochromatic. So especially if you're newer, keep it simple, even try just one color.
Okay, sorry, I don't know design. So what is monochromatic?
Oh, that's such a good question. It means it's just one color, mono one,
Oh,
chromatic is color, one color. So this upper right-hand corner has these brown wildflowers. It's monochromatic, just one color.
got it. Okay. Simple cells. I always hear that from Jay. Simple cells.
Yes. It's
Oh.
so true, right? And how much easier does it make your job as a designer not having to figure out the different colors? So just be intentional about the color that you choose, and be also very intentional about the mock-up that you choose to put it on, because it needs to really represent the color well. But monochromatic is hot right now, for especially for boho. Our next one is going to be the Grandmillennial. So this is basically the millennial group has really embraced some grandma vibes. You may have heard like there's another term for it that's escaping me right now. But the idea is it's a mix of the old and the new. It's like a nod to the past, but with an updated twist. So we're seeing things like floral patterns that we used to be like, that's such a grandma design, but now that's in. We're seeing mixed fabrics, lots of like quilted appearance. We're seeing monograms come back. We're seeing like, especially in home decor, you've probably seen this, Hannah, a little more formal over cozy in some instances when they're pulling like the monogram in.
Mhm. Yep.
We're seeing things like ruffles and, doilies and
Yeah.
and lace and things like that. So these I put together a bunch here. So if you've heard at all about the, toile de joie or chinoiserie patterns, that
Mm.
is showing up as part of this trend. A lot of these older kind of patterns that, we used to be like, "That's so grandma." Well, now it's in.
Yeah.
So, like, these are 2 best-selling designs for Halloween and for fall. So we've got these pumpkins, but they're made out of, like, it's not actually fabric, it's a PNG file, but it looks like it's quilted, like
Hmm.
fabric has been cut out into quilt. And then notice they're, like, outlined in kind of a lacy appearance. This is very Grandmillennial, but I'm gonna remind you, look at that there's a nod to the coquette thrown in there as well.
Mhm.
So, this has just been super, super popular. It sort of, like, marries in a little bit with the '90s, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because I feel like some of these patterns we were really into, in the '90s, like this kind of a retro vibe. Number 4, we're gonna go back even earlier than the '90s to even more vintage, '70s, especially, like, we see a lot of these Matisse style flowers, '70s and even older than that.
Mhm.
We're seeing a resurgence of old sayings like dilly-dallying.
Mm.
And, that's one of my favorites, but, like, we're seeing these vintage girls or these vintage style illustrations, they look like cartoons. In this particular like, when you're doing vintage type, designs, monochromatic, again, one color designs do so well. Like, look at this one's one color, this one's one color, this one's one color. It's extremely popular. And something about the monochromatic element almost gives it a little more tongue in cheek. Like something about it makes it funnier. I don't even understand why. It's just a design thing that works.
Yep.
So these vintage characters. But I'm going to give you a little tip as well. When you're writing your SEO, you actually don't want to use the word vintage because it will click the filter. If someone searches vintage in the Etsy search, it clicks the filter for an actual vintage product, which is 20 years or older, and it makes it much harder to show up in search. So in your descriptions, you might use vintage just for the sake of the shopper, but you don't want to try to rank for anything that has the word vintage. So just a little tip there that sometimes people don't know.
Good point.
Number 5, 90s retro continues to be everywhere. We're seeing bright colors. We're seeing groovy fonts. We're seeing collegiate fonts, lightning bolts, disco balls. Checkers is one of the biggest things that we're seeing. Obviously, neons and bright colors, daisies, nostalgia, animal print. You'll also see a lot of smiley faces. Like I actually shouldn't have included this here, but the smiley word and smiley face icon is trademarked. You can get into a lot of legal trouble if you use it. Many sellers make this mistake. You can go spend a lot of money on a license potentially to be able to use it. Most Etsy sellers, it's going to be out of their budget. So even though you're seeing it all over and it's very popular right now, people will buy it. Avoid using a smiley face, even a distorted one,
Mhm.
and the word smiley in your listings. It's important to say because we really see this a lot and people get confused. But
Mhm.
this trend is so hot right now. So, like, we could talk through, like, okay, so here we have a Coquette bow, but it's made 90s by the leopard print.
Mhm.
And then here we have a mama shirt, but look at the now we've got 90s daisies, we've got checkers, we have little celestial stars, we have a groovy font with bright colors, we have a lightning bolt. Also, disco balls are very 90s. So, and then this one is so fun, and it is like one of the newer, most explosive trends happening all over Etsy right now, and it's the doodle style. And there's different ways that it's showing up. So for a long time now, we've been seeing doodle style fonts, which look kind of like this. It looks very hand drawn. It doesn't look so formal. There's different patterns or elements like kind of flashed into the letters to give them a bit of a pop, something a little more interesting. Sometimes, like over on these side, you can see they look a little more sketchy, not even just doodle, but like someone sketched it. That look, you've probably seen it. It's extremely
Mhm.
popular. It's now expanded into like doodle elements. So they look very hand drawn. You're seeing these monochromatic designs like this one, and this one. So this is for the homesteader niche. This
Mm.
is for the teacher's niche, and this is for football season, but they're all the same style. They have like a hand lettered like
Mm.
word or quote, and then elements that all look hand drawn. It's honestly like hot tip. Like right now is when that's really, really like jumping out. And then I want to mention this other kind of trend within a trend that's happening within the doodle style, and this is also very new. We're seeing these postage stamp designs. So
Mm.
if you were on Etsy last year, you probably saw a lot of what looked like element grids. You'd see like 9 Coquette bows. It'd be like
Mm.
3 on one row, 3 on the next row, 3 on the other. And then maybe they'd put in, I don't know, like there was one that did really well that had golden doodle heads in there as well with the Coquette bows. It was all these grids. And that we're still seeing an occasional bestseller with that kind of a design style, the grid. But what we're seeing more is a grid of these stamps. So it looks like a hand-drawn doodled postage stamp. And this one is a really great example of just like 3 over 3. And they're put together and they're all tied together by the doodle style and by the Halloween niche. And then notice the Coquette bow thrown in there.
Yeah.
Um, but also then this is like very, very vintage retro, like almost 70s. So you've got these postage stamps. They're still doodle, but they're almost a little more graphic designy with these different, vintage flowers in them. So you'll see that style as well. And then this is another great example where it's just one design as a doodle stamp and so specific to the holiday.
Mhm.
So I like this is what to pay attention to right now. I've been doing some videos on these styles because it's been so hot.
This is awesome. This
Yes. Okay, we gotta talk about Brushstroke. This is definitely, like, peaking. I can't tell if it's gonna, like, fade out because every season we see more come in. We gotta talk about it because 'cause you're still gonna see it, and it's still a little untapped in some of the micro niches.
Mm.
So, it's the brushstroke trend, which appears in 2 different ways. So one of them are these swatches where you've literally got this, like it looks like you painted down a wall and it's a brush stroke and you'll see an image popped into it, into each one, but they're separated looking like brush strokes. Sometimes too, you'll see it like this camping one where there's a different picture in each one, but they're all related by the niche. So they're all camping related scenes.
Mm.
So those continue to be really big. And then what seems to just really stick with us is designs that look very brush strokey. So this pumpkin here if you kind of look at how the color looks inside the pumpkin, it looks like these kind of paint splotches or brush strokes. Easter, this was a bestseller. This bunny you guys may have seen. It's like very pastel, but it looks like just brush strokes, like someone made it very casually, And then this is a bestseller right now. The bow in the background is very much like the brushstroke trend. So this is an important one to know. It's the texture that's important. It's the layout. So either the swatches or the kind of design style inside the element.
Yeah. All right. So that was super, super valuable. I mean, a lot of that I am just not into date with that, especially with the brushstroke, or even like I can see things and I just don't know how to put like words behind it. Like I wouldn't be able to articulate that is called brushstroke. Like I have no idea. Like I would have no way to put words behind what that is. So that's super, super valuable. And now hopefully you have some new language, you have some new insight on what to actually search for when you're looking for trends or when you're in the search pages, right? Where your eyes gravitate to. So Lizzy, you're also really good at making designs with AI, which is, we did some little things on that on my channel, but you do it above and beyond. So do you have any examples of how we can make some of these trends with an AI tool or something like that to make it be like them super easy for us?
Yeah, so this is another thing like trends where I'm not usually an early adopter. Like I usually have an older iPhone. I'm not someone who's usually on top of it. But AI came in and something in my gut said, pay attention. Pay attention because of how much it's going to take over, and also pay attention because I'm really, really big on integrity. And I was like, I knew there were going to be people out there teaching AI and how to monetize it, and I knew that a lot of them might do it with bad intent. And I like to assume the best of people, but we're just going to see bad actors. And so I really wanted to get my hands around this. Number one, to understand how the world is changing, but number two, to be able to be part of the conversation and talk about how we can do this with integrity. So almost everything that we're seeing that we looked at today, some rendition of it can be created with AI. I don't think it begins to challenge artists. I'm interviewing a lot of artists on my podcast, and we are seeing the value and what they can earn from their artwork just go through the roof. There's a really good space for this though. Like if you want to sell digital products, like you want to sell coloring pages or wall art or PNGs or SVGs, AI is now an incredible tool for that. Okay, so if you're just getting started with AI design, I really, really love Ideogram. You can also play with ChatGPT if you're really comfortable. I call her Gigi. We're good friends. But I started really learning an Ideogram before ChatGPT caught up, and it's really, really great for especially things like coloring pages and PNGs or SVGs. And so I wanted to show you some coloring pages that I was able to create because a lot of times people complain about AI coloring pages because they think of them as being like too detailed. Like you don't get to see these bold doodle lines. And I'm just like, well, with Ideogram, it works great. So coloring pages are something I've had a lot of fun with. PNGs as well. Let's see. Let me actually take you over here because I have this bundle of 2,000 prompts. Like if you wanted to start playing with
Mhm.
AI design, I have the prompts written for you. It's like only $17. You can get this whole bundle. But I'm pulling this up so I can show you like we're able to create mock-ups and we're able to create coloring pages, PNGs and SVGs. And what you do is you take one of my prompts, like I'll actually show you the prompt document. So we're going to do coloring pages and I'm in the Halloween. What could we do? Let's do funny ADHD. And we're going to try one of these coloring pages, but it's specific to the ADHD niche because we know that's kind of big right now as an adjacent to mental health. So you'd be able to take one of my prompts like this and copy and paste it in here and then click generate. It's literally this easy. So like I prompted this one with like a funny quote. Look at what it created for me. I could create a whole bundle of
Wow.
ADHD like crazy, right?
So like this, you could sell it um you could put that on a shirt, you could put that on a mug. Just
So
keep
this
it.
is a coloring page. I would do
Oh,
this as a coloring page.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could use that as even on a design, like on a
I know. You
be
could do it,
perfect.
right? Like
Yeah.
black and white, or you could convert this to an SVG. That's something I've taught in one of my workshops is how to like take these designs and turn it into an SVG.
That's awesome. Cool, really cool. So you have 2,000 of these prompts that are gonna make
Yeah.
this for you, and every time someone takes your prompt and puts it into their account, it's making them a different design, so no one ever has the
Yes.
same. Okay, cool.
Yes,
Cool.
it's amazing, and you could try it in other image generators as well, but here's the really important thing about having prompts, like, I spend a lot of time curating the prompts and writing them and doing the research, kinda like I was showing you, and then testing it with a what I already know works really well on the program, but once you have a base prompt, you could then turn it into something else. So, let's say you grab my prompts and you're like, "Alright, I wanna do more coloring pages, but I don't wanna do ADHD. I'm gonna do, quote, let me think of something kind of like, I don't know, something like bigger and better
Mhm.
every day, like something like that. Let's just say you're doing affirmations, and
Mm,
then I could change, like, let's say I don't want a cloud-like bubble, I could change that. I could tell because but really, this is nice and general to help you keep it different every time. So then I can click generate. You
mm,
can use my prompts and you can create anything else with them once you have the base, which is
mm.
what you're getting, and you're getting them for PNGs, mock-ups, digital paper, Tumblr wraps, SVG files, wall art, and coloring pages. So
Wow.
once you have those bases, you literally could go create millions of listings. How adorable is this?
Mhm.
Totally different, but the prompt allowed me to just tweak it and go.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, if you're not using AI at this point for POD or digital, I mean, you just you cannot compete. So that's absolutely amazing. I'll make sure that I think you'll give me a link to that hopefully so we can
Absolutely.
link that down below. That's super cool. This has been so helpful. Again, I am not the authority of the space. It's really difficult for me to talk about design because I can tell you your design looks bad, but it's really hard for me to explain why it looks bad. Where I feel like people like Jay, you have the expertise to articulate it very well in a way that people understand. So, just thank you so much for coming on today. I'm gonna make sure that I list all Lizzy's links down below so you can go follow her. She has the top Etsy podcast on out. So make sure when you're driving, listen to her podcast. Keep learning, keep growing. And yeah, thank you so much, Lizzy. This has been a blessing to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. And you guys, I'm so rooting for you. Take what you learned, go study the trends more, fill your brain, build a brain cache of all the trends that are happening. And then when you go sit down to design, you are going to design better and better every day, every time, because you're building those trends in your brain. You're only going to be doing better and better. And I'm hoping I've got some resources to help. So, Hannah, you're an angel. I I love and respect you so much. You've been an utter blessing in my life, and I'm so grateful for the time with you, but also to be able to work with you.
Thank you, Lizzy. Thank you. I love you, man. Love you, girl. Oh, man. Love you, girl.
Love.
All right. All right. We'll see you next time. All righty.
Thanks, guys. Bye.